Sometimes a gentleman finds himself in a position where he needs to see a fellow gentleman removed from the circles of society for personal, business, or political reasons. But murder is such an ugly concept. Then what is a chap to do? Well, he could always visit some fellow gentleman and, over some sherry and brandy after dinner, make a request for an inhumation. Welcome back to the lore of Discworld. In this episode we'll be discussing Ankh-Morpork's own League of Gentlemen, the Guild of Assassins, the most stylish and professional killers to be found on the disc. The Assassins Guild was founded in AM 1512 by Sir Giles de Montfort as the de Montfort School for Gentlemen Assassins. Sir Giles was said to be a warrior knight who, during the Crusades in Clatch, was intrigued by the Clatchian tradition of the professional gentlemen assassins, and decided to set up a similar organisation at home, only without the controversial, if rather amusing, drugs. In AM 1576, the school was elevated to the status of guild, and the name was changed to the Royal Guild of Assassins by the king of the period. The Royal was dropped after the events of AM 1688, when the Civil War put pay to the Morporkian monarchy. In response to the huge demand among the aristocracy for their children to receive a well-rounded education that the Guild offered, the Guild's charter was expanded to include those who could gain more general skills for the proper conduct of a gentleman, as well as those simply interested in proper assassination techniques. Indeed, it would not be unreasonable to envision the Assassin's Guild as a typical British public school with all the knobs and dials turned all the way up to 11. Like the British public school, it is divided into houses, often named for a deadly animal. These are Viper House, Scorpion, Tree Frog, Raven and Cobra houses. That being said, there are a number of ones with less dramatic names, these being the Broken Moons, Reginues, Pennyporplock's House, Wigblock Prior, B2 House, C1 House, Meekim House, Mrs. Beddoes House and the Welcome Soap House. Initially a purely male institution, it was recognised that suitably noble female students are at least equal to their brothers in the matters of killing, and as such has recently opened Black Widow and Mantis houses for girls. Guild graduates can be expected to be at home in any genteel company in the world, speak several languages, know several dozen methods of killing with bare hands, knives, poisons, swords, crossbows, garrots, and be able to play at least one kind of musical instrument. However, those who do not successfully graduate are generally never seen again, as the Guild is fond of competitive examination, and, as during the book Pyramids, the book where we learn the most about the Guild, a direct quote that sums it up rather nicely is, "The Guild is easy to get into and easy to get out of. The trick was to get out upright." A lot of this has to do with the final exam, known as the Run, which consists of an oral test followed by a run through an obstacle course at night, across the Ankh-Morpork rooftops or through the streets, and killing a targeted individual. As described again in Pyramids, it is designed to test all aspects of a student's training up to this point, including covert manoeuvring, climbing, trap detection and evasion, contingency planning, and at the end the ability to actually line up your target and finish the job. All under pressures akin to a real contract. Failure is always fatal, as the students have bounties set on them in the Guild fashion during their run. To prepare for the Run, the Guild encourages many forms of competitive recreation, in particular the wall games, which is basically competitive parkour with booby traps set all across the city skyline. Always good fun. The total list of known subjects taught by the Guild is strategy and poison theory, religious studies, personal grooming, applied pathology, modern languages and music, ancient languages, dance and deportment, fencing and edged weapons, history, physical education, climbing, traps and locks, domestic science, alchemy, metalwork, political expediency, geography, mathematics, concealment, and advanced ambush. Every subject strictly related to assassination is referred to as the Black Syllabus. Students are, for their first 2 years, at which they will enter the Guild at age 11, required to wear a uniform. Boys must adopt the new bod uniform of midnight blue frock coat and knee breeches, worn with a cream waistcoat and ruffled shirt along with a black tricorn hat of beaver pelt. Scholarships and charity boys will be distinguished at all times by wearing white duck trousers as well as a white scholar's gown, while girls within the Guild are given a white shapeless blouse, a black gym slip or pinafore, woolly black stockings or tights, sensible flat shoes without adornment, and a black round hat known as a blonker. The Guild crest for both must be visibly apparent on the right breast or lapel. While I have to say the female uniform is passable, it would seem that the male one, upon examination, is designed to look as bloody stupid as possible and to instill the wearer, entirely of his own volition, a desire to succeed and get to the point where the hated rags may be discarded in favour of something with at least the potential to give him an air of style and dignity. As of their third year, students are permitted to wear the black. That would be black with a capital B, by the way. Assassins follow the height of fashion, wearing the latest trends and styles through high society, with the exception of everything being entirely black. Not simply black on its own, mark you, but the black of magpies and starlings, black in shades and tones and silk, different colours of black, an entire spectrum, the tertiary colours. The black attire of assassins is a masterwork in the tailoring profession. Another common device is a single black glove worn over the dominant hand, used to conceal a ring of stygium. Stygium is an oily, black metal-like substance of unknown origin, but will heat to white heat in milliseconds of contact with direct sunlight. To assassins who live for the thrill of risk, having a thin layer of satin between them and the loss of something so vital as the ring finger on one's primary hand is too good a game to pass up. The Assassin's Guild has a strict code of conduct. It is considered absolutely unforgivable for an assassin to kill anyone other than being paid to do so, and to kill anyone involved except their strictest targets. Of course, to distinguish themselves from common murderers and hitmen, the Assassin's Code also demands that they get paid a very large sum of money to do so. Typical guild contracts are operated as a 50-50 split, with the guild taking one half of the payment and the assassin keeping the other as his commission. The code demands that assassins never reveal the source of their contract, although this is a bit contradictory, as we are shown in the book Nightwatch that it is also considered polite for an assassin dealing with a suitably aware gentleman to his presence, as soon as his death is assured, quite who sent him, as really the victim can't do much about it at that point. They must also give the client, that is to say, the person that they are killing, not the person who commissioned them, a sporting chance, and thus are forbidden from accepting contracts on those who are unable to defend themselves, although it should be noted that under the guild rules, anyone wealthy enough to afford bodyguards or hiring other assassins is considered able to defend themselves, whether they've actually hired them or not. The guild also operates a register of people it will and will not accept commissions against, and only 2 people that we know of have been removed from this scale of fees. No assassination contract will be accepted for either Lord Vetinari, Patrician of Ankh-Morpork, or for Sir Samuel Vimes, Commander of the City Watch and Duke of Ankh. The reasons are that the assassins think that Vetinari alive is very much less a threat than dead, as you can never quite be sure what will happen, since he has the entire city woven around his thumb, and the assassins do have a good deal from him. As for Sam Vimes, multiple assassinations have been planned, attempted, and failed. He seems to be too ingenious in outwitting and ruining every attempt, and humiliating the assassins involved. This last is possibly the reason that they have utterly given up on him, although that being said, to quote Nightwatch, if the assassins removed you from their register, it was because they felt that your death would not only spoil the game, but possibly smash the whole board. So maybe Vimes has earned that level of respect from them. All that said, in very rare cases, usually in the case of a personal offence, the master of the Assassin's Guild may have to stretch these rules if only to make a statement. This was described by the Dr. Cruces as inhumation with extreme impoliteness, and Lady Tamalia of the guild, who teaches political expediency, referred to it as termination with extreme prejudice. Such a procedure requires that not only the victim be inhumated in a very thorough way, but also the victim's associates and employees be intimately involved, along with the business premises, the building, and potentially a large part of the surrounding neighbourhood, just so that everyone knows that the man involved was unwise enough to make the kind of enemies who could make even the Assassin's League of Gentlemen get very, very indiscriminate. The guild's members operate across the disc, some as far away as Genua, and small gentlemanly branch offices can be found in such places, perhaps indistinguishable from a gentleman's club if you weren't in the know. There is also a branch in the Assassins to be found in Hung Hung, the capital of the Agatean Empire, although it is not believed to have any link to the Ankh-Morpork Guild, as very little on the counterweight continent does have any links to the Circle C. To wrap up, we have a list of the degrees that are known to be awarded by the Guild and its associate bodies. An M.A., a Master of Assassins, an M.P.E., a Master of Political Expediency, a B.Sc.L., a Bachelor in the Science of Inhumation, D.I.H.I., a Diploma of Homicidal Insanity, a D.L., a Doctor of Languages, an M.I.D.D., member of the Institute of Dance and Deportment, DIPE, a Diploma in Physical Education, MASc, a Master of Alchemical Science, DMAP, a Doctor of Medicine and Applied Pathology, a BW, a Bachelor of Wig Making, a DM, a Doctor of Music, MS, the Master of Sums, DGS, Doctor of God Studies, SSSHS, which is the Spiteful Sisters of Seven-Handed Sec, who sponsor female assassins, the MGAU, the member of the Guild of Accountants and Usurers, the MGB, a member of the Guild of Butlers, and the FGC, a fellow of the Guild of Chefs. Quite what these have to do with assassins I'm not sure, but they are listed as official doctorates that one can earn through the guild, so I'm sure there's a reason. And with that, I think we've covered all the major points about the Assassin's Guild. I do hope you've enjoyed the subject, and if not, feel free to contact the gentleman of the guild with a contract. In the meantime, I'll see you in the next episode, and as always, remember the guild's motto: Nil mortifi sine lucra. No killing without payment. Bye for now.